There's a specific kind of frustration that only film people understand. You watch something extraordinary, something that rewires how you think about identity, or memory, or what reality even is, and you try to talk to someone about it, they've never heard of it. That is what this list is. 15 science fiction films that critics loved and cult audiences adore, but the general conversation has completely ignored. A city trapped in permanent darkness, where alien beings rearrange human memories while everyone sleeps. A Gulf War veteran locked inside a morgue drawer who wakes 15 years in the future every time it closes. A radio astronomer who has spent her entire career listening to the universe. And one night, the universe finally answers. And number 1, a university professor. A single conversation around a glass of wine, and possibly the most quietly devastating science fiction premise ever put on screen. 15 films. Let's go. Number 15, Europa Report.
Are you guys seeing this? It's beautiful.
Come back to the ship now.
I want to see if it's reacting to my lights. I'm going to turn them off.
6 astronauts. A privately funded mission to Jupiter's moon Europa, which NASA scientists believe contains liquid water beneath its ice, which means it might contain life. Europa Report uses found footage the way it was always supposed to be used, not for cheap scares, but for authenticity. Every frame is ship camera footage, no convenient angles, no swelling score, just the record of what happened out there. And what happened is not good. Space.com called it one of the most realistic depictions of space exploration since the moon, or 2001: A Space Odyssey. The surface of Europa was built using actual NASA and Jet Propulsion Laboratory maps. What the film refuses to offer is what most space thrillers can't resist: a hero who makes it, and an ending that ties everything off. It gives you what real exploration gives you. It's a slow burn, genuinely science-accurate film, and the final 60 seconds will lodge in your head long after the screen goes dark. Number 14, Pandorum.
Where's the rest of the crew?
I don't really know, sir.
2 astronauts wake from hypersleep aboard a ship carrying 60,000 colonists to the only Earth-like planet ever discovered. No memory of how long they were under. The ship is dark. Something is moving in the corridors. Pandorum is the film's name for deep space psychosis. Paranoia, hallucination, violence. The psychological cost of being further from home than the human mind was built to bear. Dennis Quaid and Ben Foster carry this through a world that gets darker the further they go. Critics gave it 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. They missed the point entirely. The creatures are not the horror. The horror is what civilization requires to hold together, and what human beings become when those requirements disappear. The ending reveals something about where they actually are, which I am definitely not going to tell you. I will only say it lands like a stone in cold water, and the ripples don't stop. It's a great film, and I highly recommend you watch it tonight if you haven't. Number 13, I Am Mother.
Mother?
After an extinction event, a robot activates inside a sealed bunker. She grows a human embryo from storage. She raises the child. She calls herself Mother. Clara Rugard plays the girl, called only Daughter in her first starring role. She is 21 years old. She makes someone raised entirely by a machine feel warm, until warm starts to feel like something else. Then a woman arrives at the bunker door. She says machines like Mother have been killing people in the world outside. She says Daughter needs to leave. And now the film's central question arrives and refuses to move. Who is lying? The robot who raised her, or the human who looks like her? Rose Byrne voices Mother with a specific quality: caring, measured, and never quite readable, that keeps you trusting her and doubting her simultaneously. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Almost nobody has seen it. Find it tonight. Number 12, The Jacket.
Can help you.
I don't belong here.
Neither of us can do anything about that now.
Please.
Jack Starks is a Gulf War veteran who ends up accused of a killing he doesn't remember and is committed to a psychiatric facility where a doctor subjects him to an experimental treatment, a straitjacket, drugs, and confinement inside a morgue drawer for hours at a time. Every time the drawer closes, he wakes in 2007, 15 years ahead, trying to find out what killed him so he can go back and stop it. Adrian Brody plays Jack. Keira Knightley, Chris Christopherson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Daniel Craig, the cast is doing something real. Here's the detail that matters. Brody asked director John Maybury to keep him locked in the drawer even between takes. The footage of him actually breaking down in there is in the film. Maybury kept it. It shows in every frame. It's difficult to categorize. The ending wobbles slightly, and it's a little confusing for some, but despite all of this, it still delivers a gripping roller coaster ride. Number 11. Frequency. John Sullivan finds his dead father's ham radio in the basement of the family home. His father answers, from 1969, 2 weeks before a warehouse fire will kill him. Dennis Quaid plays Frank, a firefighter, funny, warm, completely alive. Jim Caviezel plays John in 1999, a detective drinking too much, grieving a man he never got enough time with. What follows, Frank surviving, the timeline shifting, the ripples spreading in directions neither of them anticipated, is far more emotionally precise than the premise deserves. This is not a time travel film. Time travel is just the mechanism. It's a film about a son who didn't get enough years with his father, and what he'd say if he could call back across 30 of them. Frequency was inspired by a real-life phenomenon known as the wow signal, a strong, narrowband radio signal detected in 1977 that remains one of the most intriguing examples of an unexplained signal in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The film has impressive visual effects, plot twists, and emotional elements that will keep you invested in the characters' journeys. Number 10. The Quiet Earth. New Zealand, 1985. Zach Hobson wakes in a motel room, and the world is gone. No bodies, no wreckage, no explanation. 8 billion people, just gone. He's a scientist. He was working on something called Project Flashlight, a global energy experiment. He suspects he knows what happened. He suspects it was him. Bruno Lawrence plays Zach with a rawness most end-of-the-world films never approach, because he's not playing a hero in an empty world, he's playing a man coming apart inside one. The scenes where isolation tips into mania, speeches delivered to empty cities, crowning himself president of nothing, are some of the finest character work the genre has produced. The final image has been argued over for 40 years. I promise, when you watch, you'll understand why. And before I reach number 9, I want to plant a flag. The next 4 films on this list are where it gets genuinely serious. Number 7 in particular, a 1998 film that the Wachowskis have directly credited as an influence on The Matrix, is one of the finest science fiction films ever made. Keep watching. Number 9. The Island.
I think they're gonna kill you.
Going to the island.
There is no island!
Michael Bay directed this. Yes, that Michael Bay. And before you click away, hear me out. Somewhere underneath the chase sequences and the explosions and the very Bay-esque framing of everything, the island is asking a genuinely interesting question. Ewan McGregor lives in a sealed facility with hundreds of others. They were told the outside world is contaminated, that one day, if they're lucky, they'll be selected to go to the island, the last clean place on Earth. The lottery is the dream. The island is the reward. And then McGregor finds out what the island actually is. The Blade Runner parallels are obvious, and the film knows it. Does it reach the philosophical heights of that film? No. Does it have a chase scene involving giant flying wheels that is absolutely committed to its own lunacy? Yes. More interesting than it gets credit for. Streaming audiences found it years later and liked it considerably more than the critics did in 2005. Give it a chance. It's a fun ride. Number 8. The 13th Floor. A man wakes up with no memory of the previous night and finds his business partner, the man who built the machine, has been murdered. And the machine is a virtual reality simulation of 1937 Los Angeles, where people live who don't know they aren't real. Hall goes into the simulation to find answers, and then finds something that reframes the question entirely. The 13th Floor came out in 1999, the same year as The Matrix, and was destroyed at the box office by the comparison. Here's what they missed. The 13th Floor is in some ways the most rigorous of the three. It is based on a 1964 novel called Simulacron 3, predating The Matrix's source material by decades. And whereas The Matrix uses the simulation as an action framework, the 13th Floor uses it as a moral one. The most disturbing character in this film isn't a machine, it's human. Someone who treats the simulated world as a playground precisely because they believe the people inside it aren't real. The simulation hypothesis, the idea that our reality might itself be a constructed environment, has never been more discussed than it is right now. This film asked that question in a noir-soaked 1937 Los Angeles, 25 years before anyone took it seriously. Truly one of the most undervalued films of its era. Number 7. Strange Days. New Year's Eve, 1999, Los Angeles. 2 days before the millennium. The streets are already burning. Catherine Bigelow directed this. James Cameron wrote and produced it. Ray Fiennes plays Lenny Nero, a former cop turned black market dealer in squid clips. Recordings that let you live someone else's memories directly through your brain. Not watch them, live them. Every sensation, every emotion. Strange Days made back barely a sixth of its $42 million budget. Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars and was almost alone in doing so. Here's why the present has finally caught up with it. It's a film about surveillance, about the market for other people's experiences, and about racial violence and police accountability, set in a world that looks exactly like ours with one thin layer of near future painted over it. Angela Bassett is extraordinary. Bigelow invented new camera technology to shoot the opening sequence. The politics are as precise as anything made in the last 5 years. A film the world wasn't ready for in 1995. It's more than ready now. Number 6. Sunshine.
16 months ago, I, Robert Capa, and a crew of 7 left Earth frozen in a solar winter. Our mission: reignite the sun before it's too late.
The sun is dying. 8 astronauts carry a stellar bomb the size of Manhattan. This is the last mission. If it fails, humanity is gone. Danny Boyle, Cillian Murphy, Rose Byrne, Chris Evans before the shield. Brian Cox is ensuring the physics holds. No one in this film is a hero. They're scientists and engineers who understand exactly how small they are in relation to what they're trying to do, and go anyway. The third act pivots somewhere unexpected. Audiences divide on it. I think it's the bravest thing the film does. What nobody debates is the image of a person at the edge of the sun, looking into something no human being has ever seen or ever will, knowing it's the last thing they'll see, and choosing to keep their eyes open. That image does not leave you. Number 5. Starman. An alien takes the form of a young widow's dead husband and asks her to drive him to Arizona. John Carpenter directed this. Jeff Bridges received an Oscar nomination for it. If you're expecting a cheesy 80s road movie, you're right about the packaging and completely wrong about the contents. What Bridges does is study a being learning to be human from the outside in. Every gesture is slightly off, every emotion arrives a fraction too late or too earnest. The effect isn't unnerving, it's moving. He is trying so hard to understand us, and through that effort, looking at human behavior from the perspective of something that has no reason to consider it normal, the film quietly asks what us actually consists of. Karen Allen plays the widow. The grief she carries toward a man who looks like her husband and is completely not is one of the great quiet performances in science fiction. Carpenter said it was the most personal film he had ever made. Watch it, and you'll feel why. Number 4. Contact. Carl Sagan wrote the novel. Robert Zemeckis directed the film. Jodie Foster plays Ellie Arroway, a radio astronomer who has spent her career listening to the universe and getting nothing back. And then the universe answers. Contact is not a film about aliens. It's a film about what that answer would do to every structure humanity has built. Religious, political, scientific, and philosophical. It asks whether faith and science are opposites or whether they're the same hunger pointed in different directions. And it holds that question open honestly in a 1997 summer blockbuster, which is an act of genuine intellectual courage. The first contact sequence builds with a patience most films would never allow. The final act divides audiences. Almost everyone agrees it left them with something they couldn't fully name. That's the correct response to a film asking questions it knows have no answers. Not frustration, recognition. Number 3. K-PAX. This is one of the most underrated sci-fi films ever. A man named Prot arrives at a psychiatric institution. He says he's from a planet called K-PAX, located 1,000 light-years from Earth. He has arrived via light travel. He is calm, polite, and entirely unbothered by anyone's skepticism. Jeff Bridges plays the psychiatrist assigned to evaluate him. Kevin Spacey plays Prot. And here's the thing that makes K-PAX one of the most quietly disorienting films of the 2000s. It never tells you which one is true. Prot knows things he shouldn't know. Things about astronomy that stump the experts. Things about the psychiatric patients around him that he had no way of learning. But he also arrived without a spaceship, without evidence, without anything except certainty. The film holds both possibilities simultaneously. Is he a visitor from another world, or a deeply traumatized man who built another world inside himself because this one became unbearable, and refuses to resolve them? The ending will stay with you, not because it answers the question, because of what the question reveals about the person asking it. Number 2. Dark City. 1 year before The Matrix. Same question, same aesthetic logic. A constructed reality, a hidden system maintaining it, an individual who begins to see through it. The Wachowskis have directly credited Dark City as an influence on The Matrix. The strangers map onto the agents, the tuning maps onto the code, the city maps onto the construct. Alex Proyas built an entire city on a soundstage. Permanent night, Gothic architecture, 1950s cars next to technologies that don't fit the era, because the alien beings who constructed it assembled it from stolen human memories, and borrowed memories don't always fit together right. Rufus Sewell plays John Murdoch, wakes in a bathtub, dead woman nearby, no memory of who he is, and an ability nobody can explain. Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars, went back and recorded a full commentary track for the director's cut, kept recommending it for years. New Line Cinema forced Proyas to add a voiceover to the opening that explained the entire mystery before it had begun. Watch the director's cut, where that voiceover is removed. The film without it is a completely different experience. The question at Dark City's center, are you the sum of your memories, or something that exists underneath them, is one philosophy has wrestled with for centuries. This film answers it cinematically, in a city that has never once seen the sun. Number 1. The Man from Earth. A university professor is packing boxes ready to move. His colleagues turn up unannounced for a farewell gathering. They press him to explain why he's leaving so suddenly, and he decides to tell them the truth. He is 14,000 years old. A Cro-Magnon who stopped aging in prehistoric times. He moves every 10 years before anyone notices he doesn't age. That is the entire film. 8 people, 1 cabin in California, 90 minutes of conversation. No special effects, no budget to speak of. Written by Jerome Bixby, the man who wrote for Star Trek and The Twilight Zone, on his deathbed, dictated to his son in the final weeks of his life. And it is one of the most genuinely absorbing things you will ever watch, because the question at its center, is he telling the truth, never fully resolves. And every subject it touches along the way, history, religion, science, identity, mortality, is handled with a precision that makes you forget there are no explosions. No spacecraft, nothing but people in a room. 100% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It became a cult film largely through piracy. The producers publicly thanked people for sharing it. I want to be clear about why this is number 1. Every other film on this list is underseen. This one is so obscure that recommending it feels like handing someone a key they didn't know they were missing. You will finish it and want to call someone. Not to talk about sci-fi, to talk about what you believe, about what you know, about what you've been assuming is true that might not be. That is what the best science fiction does. It uses the impossible to ask the most human questions, and this film does it better than almost anything else ever has. That's the end of today's list. 15 films. All of them are too good to be this invisible. Drop a comment telling me how many you've already watched, and which movie you think deserved a spot on this list but isn't here yet. I genuinely love to know your picks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel. Now go watch something that stays with you long after the credits roll. Thanks for watching Cine Edge, and I'll see you in the next video.